English Class 9 NCERT Syllabus. Second unit The Pot Maker. Ever since Centilla became old enough to accompany her mother to the fields and forests, she began to dream of becoming a pot maker like her mother and grandmother. However, her mother, wanted her to become a weaver. On days when she managed to stay at home while parents went to the fields, Centilla approached expert potters to learn the skill. They were at first amused by the little girl's insistence as they thought that she would soon outgrow her childish passion for the craft. Centilla did not disclose her fascination with pot making at home as she had overheard a conversation between her parents one night. Her mother was complaining about Centilla's indifference to weaving. She said, I shall not teach her pot making as it has brought no joy to me and only a pittance for my troubles. The river bank where the grey and red clay required for making pot is found is 16 kilometers from here. I need to climb a sheer drop to the river bank and back axe from carrying the heavy load uphill all the way to the village. Pounding the stubborn clay inside bamboo cylinders to soften it is also tedious. So many times I have dropped the mold out of sheer exhaustion and have had to start all over again. It takes months to bring out a batch of pots after so much labor, and the reward a few rupees. But if Centilla learning weaving, she can make much more money besides providing enough clothing for the family. Weaving is not messy like pot making and can done indoors in all seasons. Also, the time spent on weaving one shawl is much less and the return is handsome. Arendla heard of her daughter visits but pretended to be ignorant of them. By late afternoon, Scintilla had to return home quickly so that when her mother come back from the fields, she would be there. Gradually, Scintilla's visits became a topic of village gossip. People wondered why Arendla was refusing to teach the skill to her daughter. They were worried that if all pot makers followed suit, then there would be no expert potters to take their place. One day, Scintilla's father, Mesoba, was summoned by the village council and asked to explain why Arendla was refusing to pass on the skill to her daughter. He replied in a humble tone, Uncles and elders brothers, Arendla has never said that she will not teach our daughter pot making. It is only that we wanted her to grow stronger after her illness. You will soon see Scintillas making the best pots in the village. After listening to Mesoba's explanation, the elders decided to let him go, cautioning him to remind Arenla that it was her duty to teach her daughter the skill that was handed down from generation to generation. They also told him that skills such as pot making, which not only catered to the needs of the people but also symbolized the tradition and history of the people, did not belong to any individual, and experts were obliged to pass on their skills not only to their own children. Scintilla continued her visits to watch the potters at work. She saw how the clay was mixed with water and pounded, how carefully they were when they pushed their left hand into a lump of the softened clay, and how deftly they rotated the lump as they started giving shape to the rotating clay with a spatula held in the right hand. The regular tap of the spatula on the clay was music to her ears as she watched in fascination the pot emerging out of a shapeless lump right in front of her eyes. After 2 or 3 days, the pot would be given in a final touch up to retain the required shape and to test the consistency. Only then would the pot to be taken out to dry in the sun before being loaded on to a clean in a uniform pattern on a bed of hay and dried bamboo and covered with another layer of the same materials, and then clean would be fired one day to day the fire carefully as firing or under firing would ruin the entire batch.